I love spending time on farms and ranches. For as long as I can remember, I've always been fascinated with them. I can remember climbing all over tractors and other farm implements such as combines, grain trucks, discs, and hay rakes. I even worked my way through high school on a ranch in East Texas, where I rode horses, took care of cattle, and even took them to the local livestock auctions. However, the most memorable times I have ever had on farms is walking through the fields, whether it was a cornfield where the leaves from the corn stalks brushed my face, or bean fields where I would watch the progress of the bean plant's growth from the time that they were planted to the time of harvest. To this day, there's something about driving next to a green cornfield in the summer and a bean field where the leaves are just turning before harvest. I know it may sound strange, but I think that when I'm looking at those fields, I feel a sense of connection and thanks to God for people that work the ground and for the miracle of the growth of the food itself. I mean, think about it. The hard work that goes into growing our food is all but forgotten. Most people have lost the connection that we once had as a people with our food. As a matter of fact, a lot of people only see food after it's been harvested or prepared. We don't often think about the dairy farmer that gets up at 4 a.m., 7 days a week to milk the cows. We don't think about the farmer that combines well into dark to get in the harvest. We don't see the rancher that gets up and breaks ice in ponds and water troughs in the winter so that livestock can drink. We don't see the calf that grows to a size where it's prepared to feed people. We do not understand the sweat and the care it takes to grow the food that all of us need. I also think that we forget the miracle of how the food grows. How when planted in the correct seasons and all the weather and all the factors out of our control have to come together to create the right atmosphere for our food to grow. God gifts people the ability to plant and harvest and prepare the gift of life through the nutrition that He provides. These days, we go to the store or the restaurant and we buy food and we eat it. There's nothing wrong with that. We all do it. However, I wonder if this is part of the reason we are so willing to take in food that is not particularly nutritious. What if we went to the food processing centers and watched how it was made? What if we took a hard look at the ingredients and studied them? Would our connection to food be different? I've been reading a lot lately about organic foods. When I first heard this, I have to admit my cynicism took over. My first thought was, well, here's another fad to get me to pay more for my food. I was skeptical and actually a little irritated that people would dare tell me that what I was eating was in fact killing me. Organic food or clean eating is just about trying to get back to a way of eating that does not include chemicals and additives that take away from the nutritional value of our food. We live in a land of plenty when it comes to food. Fast food, pizza, frozen dinners, sugary drinks, you name it, we have it. And we consume literally tons of it. This is leading to there being, well, tons of us. Instead of being well fed, we are in fact eating food that is killing us. It adds pounds, it lessens our ability to eat food that is in fact good for us, because the food we desire is so often the food that is bad for us, not that which is good. This is not, it seems, a new problem. The author of our passage actually uses the same metaphor that I am in a spiritual sense as well. In Isaiah it says, "Is anyone thirsty? Come and drink. Even if you have no money, come take your choice of wine or milk. It's all free. Why spend your money on food that does not give you strength? Why pay for food that does you no good? Listen to me, and you will eat what is good. You will enjoy the finest food." Isaiah seems to be reminding the readers that the food we eat is important. When the author says eat what is good, they're saying eat what God provides from His creation: fruits, vegetables, meat, and fish. God created a more than adequate, healthy process by which we are provided the very nutrition that we need, not only to survive, but to thrive. I'm the last person to talk about such a thing. However, I'm coming to understand that it matters not only how much I eat, but what I put into my body. I've eaten so badly for so many years that making a change seems impossible. Yet I still try because I'm tired of eating food that really doesn't feed me. Now I'm afraid that some of you might be ready to turn me off, thinking you don't want me to tell you what to eat. And don't worry, because this really isn't the focus, but a metaphor for our spiritual walk. The scripture doesn't stop with food. He uses the same metaphor that I'm using to talk to us about how we allow the Spirit of God to feed our souls. He says, "Come to me with your ears wide open. Listen, and you will find life. I will make an everlasting covenant with you. I will give you all the unfailing love I promised to David. See how I used him to display my power among the peoples? I made him a leader among nations. You also will command nations you do not know, and peoples unknown to you will come running to obey. Because I, the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, have made you glorious. Seek the Lord while you can find him. Call on him now while he is near." Just as we are called to eat what is good in the first part of this passage, we are now called to pay attention to and eat what is good spiritually. Just as people were feasting on food that was not good for them, so too were they feasting on philosophies and deities other than Yahweh that would eventually lead to death. Isaiah is calling the people back to God. This book is a long treatment of how the people of Israel were believing in other gods, replacing the law of God with the law of the culture that they found themselves in. God is still calling us to himself, to come to him with open ears. Not so he can lord over us or bless us with stuff, but to give us life through his covenant. Jesus dying on the cross and resurrection is the fulfillment of his end of the covenant that he made with the Jews long before this time. This love and fulfillment of the covenant of God is not out of obligation on God's part, because we broke our end of the covenant a long time ago. It's the fulfillment that flows out of the very character of God. No matter how we mess things up, or no matter how much we ingest things of this world that are not good for us, God still wishes to use us to lead this world to a place of decision and faith. One of the things that I have to start doing if I want to eat clean is, first of all, make a commitment to do so. Not just a half-hearted "I need to eat better," but a full-blown surrender to a new lifestyle of eating. Then I need to read the labels, not just fall for the advertisements that say organic. And then I need to actually eat clean. In the same vein, if we truly want to live holy, we must first commit to this lifestyle change. Not just say things like, "I really need to get things right." We must totally sell out to allowing the Spirit to fill us and change our lives. In order to do this, we must read the labels, which is Scripture. And then we must actually live holy. We have been invited to come and eat what is good and enjoy the food that is a Spirit-filled and Spirit-driven life. So today I invite you to sit at the table of the Lord with me and eat what is good. Enjoy the presence of God to the fullest.